Los Angeles was that beacon on the hill for so many, including black people that were migrants. Los Angeles is a place, as a black person, you could come and you could actually do well. You could do better than you could do in the South. LA offered promise and hope to someone wanting to make a better life. This was a land of opportunity. When I think of Robert William Stewart, I think of where he came from, what he overcame.
Robert William Stewart was born a slave in Kentucky in 1850. He worked his way across the United States, and in 1889 was appointed one of the first 2 African-American police officers in Los Angeles. And he was probably also one of the first 2 police officers, African-American police officers in the state of California.
He came to Los Angeles and was able to achieve this very monumental achievement in the history of Los Angeles and in our state. And really, when I think back nationally, here's a person who was born as property belonging to someone else, and he comes to Los Angeles, and then he becomes the first black officer to enforce the laws of the state of California and the city of LA. And that part just blows my mind when I think about it. The disadvantages that he had to overcome to do that.
Stewart came on at a time that nobody ever thought an African American would be a police officer. So we talk about somebody that is like a Jackie Robinson. He would be the Jackie Robinson for law enforcement.
Robert William Stewart went on to have, at least for 11 years that he was on the force, a very impressive record. He was a policeman's policeman. He went out of his way to help fellow officers. He went out of his way to help the citizens of Los Angeles.
And then it was pretty much all taken away from him through really no fault of his own. Robert Stewart was dismissed from the Los Angeles Police Department by the Police Commission after he was charged with raping a white teenager while he was on patrol. And there was no indication of what happened to him, so I decided to look into it and started pulling on the thread, and it turned out to be a very long thread.
He comes across her late in the evening. I believe there was a curfew at that time for young people. I think he inquired of her about being out at that time of night, and that was pretty much it. That was his only conversation with her. She then fabricates later, we don't know really why, but she fabricates the story that, he raped her.
Officer Stewart was immediately arrested.
And at that time, when an officer was charged with anything of significance, they're relieved of duty.
Stewart got a raw deal. He was not given any chance to present any defense to the police commission. The first trial was a hung jury. The vote was 7-5 to acquit him. The district attorney decided to retry the case, and when it was retried at the end of December 1900, he was acquitted in 40 minutes.
Once he was acquitted, the Board of Police Commissioners refused to reinstate Officer Stewart.
He never was able to get his job back.
He worked as a laborer primarily until he was 70 years old, and then the last 10 years or so of his life he worked as a janitor.
It has taken 120 years for us to recognize that an injustice was done to Officer Stewart.
For over 100 years, we didn't know about this guy. And how does that happen? How does his story get buried? And here we are in 2021 trying to make it right.
What does it mean to us today moving forward to ceremoniously reappoint him, which was done yesterday by the Board of Police Commissioners, allowing him to retire in good standing?
I was so pleased that all of the commissioners recognized that this was the right thing to do.
Having the police commission vote to restore Stewart undoes what their predecessors did 120 years ago.
Just by virtue of what Mike Moore was willing to do, it's like, I'm going to make this public. We're going to do what we can here to correct this and make it right. We're going to reinstate him. We're going to honorably retire him. He's done his part.
We have righted a wrong, a social and historical wrong that can only be explained by systemic racism at that time.
When I was 27 years old, my great aunt blurted out the great family secret that my father was Jewish. And I subsequently learned that when he and his sister went to Point Furman Elementary School in San Pedro during World War II, they had to run home from school every day because the other kids called them dirty Jews and threw rocks at them. So I might not be black, I might not be descended from slaves, but I have some personal feeling for what he went through.
We're still dealing with this 10,000-pound elephant in the room called race. Race played a factor in how he was treated then, and race plays a factor as to how black people and other people of color are treated today. Yeah, what happened to Robert Stewart makes some certain people feel uncomfortable, and it should. So it's important for the city of LA to embrace that part of its history, just like we embrace the achievements of successful black men and women in LA's history. We have to look at history in the context of all of its parts and pieces. And we can't just look at those pieces that make people feel comfortable, because it's not a true depiction of reality. And it doesn't allow for, true conversations.
Uncomfortable aspects of the past should not remain buried. They should be brought to light, and to the extent that lessons can be learned from them, that should be done. So if this helps stop anything like that from happening again, brings other events from the past to light, encourages other research, makes our history more known, because what happened in the past is why things are the way they are today.
There's no denying that if Robert William Stewart hadn't opened that door, me and legions of other black officers, including one who would become the mayor of this city, Tom Bradley started his career at the Los Angeles Police Department. That gave him his foundation for public service, and then he went on to become mayor. If it wasn't for Robert William Stewart's success in that position for 10 years and proving that a black man could do this job, I wouldn't be here. He was the first. He opened the door. So every single black officer on the Los Angeles Police Department that has ever been owes him a debt of gratitude.
He is someone that we should be proud of. And I hope that this, in some small measure, is just a glimmer of what can happen in our city if we all come together.
It's a story of redemption. It's a story of somebody that thought bigger than what his circumstances allowed him to be at the time.
People in the city should know that Robert Stewart was a good man. He wanted to protect the citizens of Los Angeles.
The city of Los Angeles has a wonderful opportunity if it chooses to do so. And that opportunity is to begin to uncover its history at its best and at its darkest. And it just shouldn't stop at Robert William Stewart. There are Latinx people in the city who have done phenomenal things. LGBTQ people in the city who have done phenomenal things. There are Asian people in the city who've done phenomenal things. There are women who have done phenomenal things. And I think, we need to start telling those stories.